This podcast is brought to you by our Anime Addicts community that we love very much. If you want to join the community, you can go to our Discord, AAAdiscord.com. But hey, if you love us extra much, you can go and support us at patreon.com or aaapodcast.com/join. We'll be happy to have you. We'll be giving you all of our extra content, 8 exclusive podcasts per month, and of course, access to our Discord is free. So again, if you want to support the podcast, AAApodcast.com/join or Patreon. And now, it's time to get this shit started.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at AAApodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Welcome into the 734th episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast, where our sole mission is to make your anime addiction worse. Similarly to how I'm addicted to this caffeinated Monster energy drink. I'm going to open it right here. Oh, splash, splish, splash. I be taking a bath in Monster energy. Oh, I'm going to drink this out of the can. Delicious strawberry dreams. And I am Mitsuki. Welcome to the show today. I'm happy to have all of you, wherever you're listening from. The moon, perhaps. That would be amazing. All around the world. Those of you that are getting through work, meal prepping, grocery shopping. We love you no matter where you're listening from, so thank you for joining us today. And I have the full boat. We've got Caroline. She's looking good. She's feeling good, except it's hot as shit outside. But what else can I say about Caroline except it's Caroline? How are you?
It is me. I'm a little sleepy, though. I'm not going to lie. Not 100% today for some reason, but I'm going to do my darndest.
We also have Mason, who always has lots of fun memorabilia behind him, and I'm guessing that might be Dungeon Meshi back there.
No, It is Tower Dungeon. I always try, for those of you who actually watch the show, I try to put a manga behind me that is relevant in some way to what we're talking. And yes, this looks like Dungeon Meshi. No, it's Tower Dungeon, so it's close. Good eye, though. It's hot out there, folks. It's hot. Officially summer. Officially hashtag summer, which is why we're doing summer stuff today. But I'll let the main man talk about it.
Yeah, we're enjoying our 3 weeks of hot weather in Denver, and then we'll be back to snow in no time. But I won't be here to see it because I'll be moving. But if you want to follow us online, you can watch us on twitch.tv/AAA podcast, live Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern, and we will soon be opening a live stream on TikTok simultaneously as soon as I figure out how to get the TikTok studio running. And we're also on all the social medias. We're on your Twitters, your X's, your TikToks, your Facebooks, your Instagrams. You can find us anywhere on there you look for us. Just type for Anime Addicts Anonymous. You will find us. We're also on Discord at AAAdiscord.com. And look, Caroline's been putting a lot of work in on the t-shirt designs, so you don't want to disappoint her. Don't make her sad. Don't make her cry. You don't want that. No one likes watching the ladies cry. It's very sad. AAAshop.info. That'll get you to the shop. Well, it's actually, when I go to she's holding up her shirt right now. There you go.
Yeah, I was gonna show this off.
Good looking shirt.
I just got it. Yeah. I wonder who made it. I wonder who.
I wonder.
Who indeed.
It's so funny when I'm on YouTube and I see someone has like a store and I click on it. There's always like 2 shirts and a mug. I'm like, oh, it's very nice. I don't want those.
Several.
We have 15 rows of stuff for you to look at. So AAAshop.info. It's priced pretty affordably. Basically break even. So go enjoy that.
Yeah, it's as low as it could possibly go.
Yeah, I think we're making like a 20-cent profit.
Yeah.
on each of these things.
It's a labor of love.
Yeah, it's a labor of love. And more important than the profit is just having you rep the podcast. Anyway, so what are we going to do today on the show, everybody? We are going to be doing our summer 2024 impressions. We're going to announce our picks. Oh, so exciting. I love it. I'm actually going to watch all the trailers live because I haven't watched any of them yet.
What?
So it's going to be like, Mitz, you picked this anime and it's some moe blob trash, and then you guys can just laugh at me and ridicule me. So that'll be fun. They're all really short trailers. And we're going to do a review of Delicious in Dungeon. So a Studio Trigger joint. So we'll get to that later on in the show. But now it's time for the big news of the week.
大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
A1 Pictures has acquired Studio 3 Hertz. So that's some news. Not long after Toho announced that they had acquired Science Saru, we're having more consolidation in the anime industry. Studio 3 Hertz has announced that they are going to be transferring its primary business, which includes all animation planning and production, to A1 Pictures. If the transfer will include all of the staff from 3 Hertz, so no one's losing their job, but they're consolidating. So Studio 3 Hertz, your mileage will vary with their content, but they are known for Sora no Method or Celestial Method in 2014, Princess Principal, which I think people like, Flip Flappers, which I don't know that people like too much. Maybe they did. I don't know. Hataraku Mao-sama Season 2, which everybody hated. And they're also working on the sequel to their 2018 hit Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online, which is going to be coming out later this year. So they've been working on that. Let's see here. What else we got? So they're attributing the trends of consolidation to rising production costs, difficulty in securing talent, and an increase in the primary production companies, which all contribute to growing challenges for small companies. Which makes sense. What do you guys think? You sad to see him go, or do you not give a shit? What do you think?
On the side of not giving a shit, though not as strongly as that sounds. I just don't really... it doesn't seem like there's going to be any major changes to their operations. So, it doesn't really matter much to me.
What about a little... Maybe not a shit. What about like a little nugget? You know, you snap one off early. You know, just kind of... Bloop. How about that?
Maybe if I understood the industry in these ways, but I don't, so nope.
Do you ever walk in the woods? What do you think?
Like on hikes?
Yeah, like on hikes.
Yeah.
You ever see like deer poop? How it's a pile and it has little tiny pellets? They're real little. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, I actually see more of those in my backyard than I do in the woods.
Perfect. So you're very well acquainted. Would you give
I'm well acquainted.
Would you give that size of a shit or not even that much?
Like, are we talking about a pebble or like the pile?
Just a pebble.
Okay, I'll take a pebble.
All right. Yeah.
Pebble of deer poop.
Yeah. All right. A pebble of poop. Caroline gives a pebble of poop.
If we're talking about a pile, I think that might be too much.
It's too much. Okay.
I'll give a pile of a shit, or sorry, a pebble of a shit.
That's enough. That's worth about as much as Flip Flappers. So,
I do care about Princess Principal. I really enjoyed the season, though. I hear that the sequel stuff wasn't that good.
Well, if it makes you feel any differently, the Princess Principal movies, of which there are 6 scheduled to come out, 3 which already have, that's not 3 Hertz anymore. That moved to Studio Actis. So this move actually won't impact the Princess Principal movies, as far as we're concerned. So, back to no shits given, I guess. No, I mean...
What kind of a shit do you give, Mason?
It's tough to say, because they're a small company, and moving into this bigger subsidiary hopefully gives them, like it says in the article, will give them that more stability in management and resources and stuff to just do what they do as they've been doing, just a little bit without all the extra hassle that goes into it. So it could be a good thing for a smaller company, as long as they don't lose whatever was their special sauce that made them tick and made people want to work for that company, and not just become this homogeneous blob of anime production onto the side of A1, which is already a homogeneous blob on the side of Aniplex. So hopefully, as with Science Art, we don't lose the culture of uniqueness that they brought, while also hopefully healing over some of the more problematic issues of anime production. So once again, as Caroline said, we are not really privy to the most in the know of the technical side of the production cycle and what this really means for the people day to day. But I could see it being good. I could see it being bad. I could see it being ambivalent to a lot of folks, and that's kind of where I stand at the moment. So we'll see. Hopefully, they keep on making stuff that is interesting and good, and if not, oh well.
All right.
It's hard. I don't know if this is too much of a sign of things to come. If anime all becomes subsidiaries and the subsidiaries all within Sony, all within Disney, all within these giant parent companies that just rule over everything, yeah, that'll stink. But there's definitely some framework where this is an okay thing. I just don't know where I stand on it yet.
It's probably an extremely good thing because if you think about a small company like Studio 3 Hertz, most likely is. I'm just going to guess it probably has less than 30 employees. The smaller your company is, the less like collective knowledge you have, right? And so there's going to be a lot of things they don't know how to do as a company. Like maybe they can't draw mecha. Maybe they have no idea how to do, scenes where people are cooking. I don't know, whatever, while we're doing Dungeon Meshi. So by consolidating the talent under a bigger umbrella, they could actually borrow people from other projects and potentially make better stuff. I don't know. I'm sure they wouldn't have.
I feel like this is more of a planning thing. Like Studio 3 Hertz now has access to maybe the same resources as A1 to get their show in a better time slot or get their name or proposals in front of different, not producers, people who give money to the thing. I can't
Production
even
committees.
Just they have more access to folks who can give them business guidance and help. But yeah, I don't know. I see your point too from a creative standpoint. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, that's all I got today. Caroline, how about you?
Hey, well, I heard that an Akiba Maid War pop-up cafe will be opening in Los Angeles. It's a real-life Ton Toko Tan, which is, if you remember from Akiba Maid War, the maid cafe that our main characters work for. They will be open for business in Little Tokyo from June 28th to July 28th. So while the cafe will be cute like other maid cafes usually are, it has been given a PG-13 rating since they will allude to the violence of the cutthroat maid cafe business that we are all very well aware of. Tickets will be reservation only, ranging from $25 to $80 depending on the day. And all attendees will receive a free exclusive coaster and complimentary decorated Polaroid with their maid. This seems kind of fun. I actually didn't really know that pop-up maid cafes was a thing in Los Angeles. Never been there. Never been to Little Tokyo, especially. So it seems like a lot of fun.
I'm watching a Instagram video about this, and it's just creeping me out, honestly, this guy.
Really? I haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah. Let me just see if I can post the video for you here. You can take a look for yourself, but somebody, if you could post it on the Twitch, that would be helpful. I got a different computer here. So, yeah, it just got 3 girls dressed up like the Maid Wars girls. 2 of them definitely look Asian. One of them is clearly not. And it's got this guy who looks like he's 60 sitting in front of them. And it's just he just giving me the creepo vibes. It's like this 60-year-old man's hanging out with young maid girls. It's just something's not right about it.
But he's hitting the spot.
It's freaking me out.
With the hand signal. I don't know why.
I just hope this guy's innocent and not a creeper, basically, is what I think about when I see that video. But have you guys been to a maid cafe?
No.
I have not. And what would make me go to this, and this would absolutely not work in LA, but the idea of it in Japan is just way more appealing, is if, we all know that the big draw of Akiba Maid War is the fact that this maid cafe is at war with other maid cafes. So maybe you go to this place and maybe 3 times a day, randomly, a squadron of other maids come barreling into the restaurant with airsoft guns, just bam, 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 and you have to duck for cover, and it's just a giant mess. And then they leave. That would be funny. That would be. Mm-hmm. I would roll the dice to go to a maid cafe that might be under siege at any moment.
Yeah, I do think there's going to be a performance aspect to all of it. So that seems pretty cool.
I'd hope so, but I want it to get really, really intense.
Well,
I want there to be ketchup blood splatters all over the place.
I wouldn't give one tiny reindeer poop pellet about ketchup packets. How about some real blood?
I think that's what she's implying.
Speaking of,
well, I mean, real blood at a cafe sounds like a health hazard.
Yeah, sanitary nightmare.
So I think I'll take
funny.
ketchup blood.
I mean, there's haunted houses where people sign waivers to have like pig's blood poured in their mouth and stuff. Like, I mean, suck it up.
Or I don't know if
happen.
they have that kind of legal power, unfortunately, for a pop-up cafe.
Well, so you could go to Los Angeles and experience a maid cafe, or you could go enjoy the exchange rate, which is now 160 to 1. That is, oh my God, it's getting to the point where you simply have no choice but to go to Japan. Like, honestly,
how much longer?
I can't even put my head.
Predictions. How long will this maintain, or do you think it's going to drop back down?
It's been persisting a lot. Like a year ago, I thought this was crazy, and it's been a year, and it's still crazy. I mean, you're getting to the point where you're going to go to like Akiba and buy a Gundam figure, and it's going to be like, oh, this Gundam figure on Amazon, it's $140. And it's going to be like $17 in Akiba. Literally, I'm not even shitting you. You're going to you're going to eat lunch for like $2. I mean, literally, this is where you can go to Katsuya for 400 yen, 450 maybe. It's like $3. So you're eating lunch for $3. Have fun getting your $18 Big Mac. Like, just fucking go to Japan and never come back. Jesus God, I literally, if Japan...
Sounds like you don't want anybody around. Like, go to Japan and never come back.
I mean,
but
honestly,
for your own good.
But also, don't go to Japan because it was slammed with tourists last time you were there. So,
I mean, literally, like, if Japan didn't have such intense immigration laws and rules about being in Japan, I would have moved there already at this point. I don't know, but you can't. You can't move to Japan. You have to. You can only stay for 3 months at a time, and yeah, you can buy a house in Japan with the same rights as a Japanese person, but like, what are you going to do? Abandon your house for 9 months of the year because you can't live there. If you're going to work
every 3 months, you have to go on vacation to Tokyo
that doesn't work.
Go to little LA.
It doesn't work. So basically, like I read about that, and if after the second time you do it, they're going to start to notice that you've been given another visa like 3 times that year, and they'll just deny you reentry. So that's happened. Like, if you go to Korea for a week and come back, they'll let you back in. But after you do that like a second time, they start to get wise to it, and they won't let you. They actually have the right to deny you another visa. So, but 160 to 1 is fucking crazy. You're gonna go to a vending machine and get like a 20-ounce milk tea, and it's gonna be like 50 cents. That's literally fact. I mean, I can't even wrap my head around this. Summer anime is upon us. What do you guys feel like?
How?
I'm not really sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but do you feel like the hot weather right now is just a perfect way to send us off into the summer season?
Yeah, I feel I mean, I don't have central AC at my place, so no, I don't. It's actually hotter inside, so I don't want to be inside watching anime now. But yeah, I feel like we're here.
I have to say, after it's a typical thing. If it's really, really hot outside, then whenever we're doing the podcast, I'm usually sweating a lot. I'm actually quite comfortable right now. I had half in mind to put on my blanket right behind me because I was feeling cozy.
Don't do it. Don't do it to me. I'll start sweating just looking at you.
Yeah, but I won't. So but yeah, it's a pleasant day despite it being pretty hot outside.
So Mitz, how do these summer selections work? What do first-time listeners to this podcast? What are we doing today?
So basically, we pick our top 15 anime that we want to watch from the season, and then we essentially roll dice to see who gets to have the first selection, and then we go down our list, and when I take an anime Mason wants, he can't have it, he goes to the next one. It's done like a draft style. We kind of take turns picking based on the selection order. And I will say that because I rolled the highest, although it was only a 13 on a D20, so it wasn't that good, but I got all 7 of my top picks.
Hot damn. And you make these picks without watching any of the trailers. I would say, out of the 3 of us, do the least amount of research.
Listen, I don't know how long it takes you guys to put these lists together, but I did mine in probably 3.5 minutes.
I take probably 45 minutes maybe.
Caroline does the most amount of stuff. So you're going to see today, listener, the amount of prep, was it worth it or was it not?
Well, here's the thing. I
Mitsuki
don't think it
live
really
reacts to these
matters.
trailers.
I don't think it really matters, like, what the dice roll is, how long we spent doing our lists, because especially when a season looks as bare as summer this year, we oftentimes split off into, like, very different directions, so much so that our lists barely overlap in the first place. Like, you got all your top picks, but even with that high roll dice, if we had any semblance of a similar list, you still would have had to let go of some of your top choices. But you didn't, because our lists are so different.
Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm eliminating all the genres I have come to hate, so I'm not picking any slice of life. I'm not picking any. I like romance, but it's never actually romance in anime, so I'm just eliminating those because I'm tired of watching people struggle to hold hands. It's obnoxious. So I'm eliminating a bunch of stuff. Comedy, eliminating that. I'm not interested in rom-coms. I'm not interested in slice of life. There go half the shows right there. I'm mostly picking sports shows, action shows, and fantasy anime at this point, and sci-fi, but there's hardly any sci-fi, really, for the most part. So my first pick of the season is one that I didn't even notice was coming out until someone on the Discord mentioned it. I think it was Raggedy Doctor, so I replaced my number 7 because I figured it would probably suck anyway. So, Rising Impact. So it was a funny thing. We had no golf anime, and now we have 3 of them, and they're all bad. So this one right here is bad too. It's already out. It came out way early. It came out yesterday, and it already has below a 7 on my anime list, which means I have very little hope for it. So we've managed to have 3 bad golf anime, which is, 3 is, I don't know, not good. Small boy Gawain, there's a name for you, lives in a mountainous rural area with an incredible love for baseball and making the ball really fly. One day he this is so stupid. One day he runs into a visitor to a small area, and she introduces him to a sport that can really make the ball fly: golf. This strikes me as like this simple-minded character who's like, "Oh, me make ball fly," and then it's like, "What sport makes the ball fly further?" Bro, why don't you just...
kid
like,
who...
I imagine they take one swing of a golf club and they're like, "Sugoi, it's flying."
I like to think this guy just watches Quidditch in the Harry Potter movies and is just blown away. He's like, "Oh, ball fly, literally, whoa!"
So I'm gonna play the trailer right now. Can you hear it? Oh, you guys probably can't hear this. People on Twitch can hear it. It doesn't look bad. It actually looks pretty okay. Like the anime, boy, Jesus, this kid just drove the ball like Happy Gilmore blushed. He's like 4 years old. What the fuck? Is this Camelot Academy? You gotta be shitting me. It's a special golf academy that looks like Camelot. You have got to be shitting me. Oh, and he's dressed like a toy soldier. He's dressed like a kid from like the 1930s with his little like fucking red suspenders and shit. This could be good. He's dressed like a character from Monster. If a little boy from the anime Monster trudging around Europe, like Germany, he looks like that. Continuing this trailer here. What the fuck? Camelot Academy. They're taking on other countries now. The Camelot Cup. Wow, okay. So this anime, we'll see. It doesn't look too good. Everybody in it has very big noses. So, that's Rising Impact. It's a golf anime by Studio Les Deuce, which I love that name.
Oh, Les Deuce.
And even though it's out, no one's watching it. It only has 187 total reviews on my anime list. It's pretty bad. All right. And we've got... But I can't resist a sports anime. I actually didn't think there were any. Now that there is one, I'm happy. Mason, what do you got?
Well, I guess I can go next, which I did not get the same good fortune as Mitsugi, as I rolled the second lowest number you could possibly do on this game. I got a 2 out of 20, which means I had to go deep down my list, back into the depths of my list that was so low and unconsidered that I don't even know why I picked some of these shows, because I was scraping the bottom of the barrel when I was at this point. But we could be surprised. So the first show on my list is Quality Assurance in Another World. So yes, this is an isekai, or at least a fantasy of some kind.
You picked an isekai, Mason?
It's not an isekai, it's just a fantasy. So it may...
in another world?
Listen, there's some other shows on my list that I got to, and I'm like, I picked that show? We'll get to that. Anyway, so despite its location in a remote region, this island of Claiborne is made up of a bunch of different counties. And in the smallest and most peaceful of these counties, this village is invaded by dragons. And when I say dragons, the image you have in your head, listener, is completely wrong. I could tell you these are really fat dragons, and you could modify the image in your head, and you would still be more wrong than you could possibly imagine. So you can either click on the link of the show on my table and like see the banner of the top, or watch the trailer. But what these dragons are in context of the show are ginormous water balloons that are just so round and rotund. They are the most frog-like looking dragons to such a comical degree that I was instantly sold on this show. It's very funny. The monsters of the show make me laugh. Anyway, village gets invaded by these creatures, and a bunch of members from this top secret investigation team come in to try to like manage them. And one of the guys is named Haga, and this girl from the village is so smitten, not by Haga's like beauty or looks or anything like that, but just by the sense of like, oh, this guy's out there exploring the world, and there's so much out there behind my little peaceful country. Like, there's more to see. So she joins him, and they go on adventures. And it's done by Newish Studios, 100 Studio. It's based on a manga, and it is on Crunchyroll. And I actually originally had a show called Bye Bye Earth in this spot, but I watched the trailer for that, and the middling CG by Leiden Films was so blundering that even though it had music by Kevin Penkin, I was like, you know what? I'm calling an audible. So I picked this show instead. It has the chunky dragons, which is a big win. This show kind of feels to me like a safe comedic play of a fantasy world a la Helk. It gave me a lot of similar vibes in the art and just the sound. So I have very mid expectations for this show, but it'll probably be fun and cutesy. It seems like a very good show to watch, maybe with, you know, like 8-year-old kid kind of thing. So Quality Assurance in Another World, big dragons. Let's see how it goes.
I'm honestly not sure how these qualify as dragons.
I only know they're dragons because in the trailer they show them and say dragons.
They don't have wings.
No.
And they look like gigantic
no edge to them.
Toads. They look like gigantic toads that are constipated.
Yes. It's like their butt and their eyeballs are constantly trying to pop out of their sockets.
Yeah.
It's
their butt is the butthole, the booty hole.
The booty hole. It's
the butthole.
They're prairie dog in it, if you know what I mean.
Ah, I see. It means you have a piece of poop working its way out.
Okay, how many times have we mentioned poop in this episode?
Not enough.
Not enough. What's next?
Half an hour in.
Not nearly enough. We're gonna work on it.
Let's see if we can keep that going. So I went down to my number 9th pick overall on my list to start off, but technically my number 7th. So I had to go with Tokidoki Bosoto Rushago de Derudu Tonari no Alya-san. Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian, otherwise known as...
What?
It's a light novel title, as you can tell.
No shit.
It's being done by Doga Kobo. Synopsis. Smart, refined, and strikingly gorgeous. Half Russian, half Japanese, Alisa Mikhailova, Russian's even worse than Japanese, Jesus. Kujo is considered the idol of her school. Even though she's admired by all, she has the seemingly unapproachable persona. One of the few exceptions is Alisa's benchmate, who is a relatively average boy who spends his days watching anime and playing gacha games. Despite his nonchalant demeanor, Masachika, the benchmate, is the sole student to give Elisa attention. Unable to be fully honest, Elisa is frequently harsh on Masachika and only expresses her affection in Russian. However, unbeknownst to her, Masachika actually understands the language, yet simply pretends otherwise for his own amusement. As the odd pair continues to exchange witty and playful remarks, their relationship gradually grows more romantic and delightful, and Elisa might finally learn how to convey her true feelings. This
trash.
I can tell. Miss Suki would
no.
absolutely
Her last name was Cujo. It's a JoJo story.
Listen,
it's gotta be good.
I gotta tell you something.
Sure. Yes.
Putting aside the main character's delicious Zettai Ryoiki from the cover art.
What the heck is that?
The gap of skin between the skirt and the...
That's when she's wearing... That's when the girl wears mid-thigh-high socks, and that's the skin in between where the thigh sock ends and the skirt. Listen, these rom-coms are so fucking ridiculous. They are just... They're basically in isekai territory at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, this was definitely not one I wanted to pick. It's how it went.
Every possible quirk that could make a romance happen is now being executed. We have girl who can't communicate with people. We have girl who looks like a boy. We have boy who's like a weirdo who dangers in my heart, whatever. You know, it's like all these weird circumstances that like make the couple odd. Now you got a girl that only communicates her feelings in Russian. Gee, they are really out of ideas. Like that. This anime is at the level of reincarnated as a vending machine. That's literally where we are, except it's romance and the delicious Zettai Ryoiki aside. What can they think of next, people?
You know, I have to agree with most of what you said.
Really?
That being said,
right.
Yeah, I mean, I really I did not want to watch the show, but it was one of the shows that I thought I could get through without, banging my head against a wall. Because unlike you, I still enjoy rom-coms to a certain degree. But I'll be honest, this is probably the most bare-bones synopsis you can get for one of these rom-coms. Especially considering, like they said it themselves, like the benchmate is a relatively average boy who spends his days watching anime and playing gacha games. I'm supposed to root for this guy. The only thing that I find
so bad.
The only thing I find mildly amusing about the synopsis is that he can understand her language and she doesn't know, and I think that might be pretty funny. But yeah, it's definitely not one I have high hopes for, but I needed something on this list, so that's what I got.
Her body is built like the Spider-Woman from Wicked City, which we're going to be reviewing. I don't know how you're going to get through that, Caroline, but we're going to hold your hand, and it's going to be okay. Okay?
Thanks, Mitz.
Okay. Anyway, I'm going to move us on because we got a ton of these. So the next one is my first ecchi harem show, 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. I'm playing the trailer right here.
No, I saw this one.
I have no interest in
3D glasses to watch it.
I have no interest in real girls, so claims Okumura, the president of the school's manga club. He's your typical otaku, obsessed with a sexy, fictional 2D manga character known as Liliel. Then the new school year starts, and a real 3D girl named Ririsa, whose passion is cosplay, joins the club. She puts on an outfit that makes her look like the girl from My Dress Up Darling and bangs his brains out. Just kidding, that doesn't happen. Ririsa convinces him to become her photographer. It's literally Dress Up Darling. He's just gonna put... Here comes the trailer. He's photographing her. She's cute, blonde, dressed like an angel. Oh. Yeah, she's, that's pretty loud. Oh, he has no interest in real girls. Boy, he looks like the type that pretty much would never land an actual girl. So, of course, in the anime, he'll have 14 of them. Oh, this girl's undressing. Oh, there's Zettai Ryoiki. Contact lenses, lipstick. He's blushing. He looks frightened. He's never seen a real woman before. And the young man will learn that 3 dimensions is indeed better than 2. Oh. Anyway, it's his very own girl that resembles his 2D love. Okay, so yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna pass that for sure.
We'll see. Sometimes the fates just require it to happen.
Mason,
what you got next? Oh, that was 2.5 dimensional seduction. I don't know. Maybe it's because 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional averages out to 1.5 dimensions. I don't fucking know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Mason.
So the next show seems like it's already cashing in on the Dungeon Meshi craze. This is Dungeon People.
Oh my god!
And
no!
honestly, the synopsis for this really did a lot of the heavy lifting for my potential hype. Essentially, Clay is this character who's been trained by her father to be a master thief. And since her father disappeared, she's been using her skills as a thief to search for him in the dungeon. And she goes through using her skills to avoid all these dangerous creatures and traps and all these devilish mechanisms that the dungeon has to try to kill her and other people. And eventually, she's so good at it, she reaches deeper in the dungeon than anyone has before, where she meets someone who gives her a job. Says, hey, you're pretty good at this dungeon thing. We could use more people like you to actually run and manage this dungeon. So she joins the staff and now goes around setting traps, interviewing monsters, and like helping like the management side of the dungeon. Yeah. And I love this. I love this in concept because I love behind the scenes working kind of shows where you learn, oh, this is how food at restaurants gets made, or this is how anime gets produced, or whatever. And I love stuff like that. And having it with kind of a weird fantasy setting seems really intriguing. That said, the trailer visually looked a little too cutesy for me. It seemed like a marriage of Nichijou and Silverlink designs with all these washed out pastels and colors and really lackluster environment. So I think this is a cool concept. I was on board with the synopsis. The trailer didn't sell me, but we'll see how it holds up actually in practice. It's done by OLM, which is a pretty decent studio, even if they are a little all over the place with their quality, based on a manga, and it will be on High Dive. So I know Mitz is already out, but it's got potential. It's got a chance, though. We'll see.
Yeah, I also considered that one for my list, but similar to you, is going to be kind of low down because, yeah, it's similar feelings to you about the first impressions of that.
Yeah.
Now, number 6 on my list is Madogushi Dahlia wa Utsumukanai, or Dahlia in Bloom. I'm doing the Japanese titles because a lot of these shows, I'm not sure if the English titles are just rough translations or if they're actually known by those things, but I think it's also known as Dahlia in Bloom. Done by Typhoon Graphics and Imagica Infos. Okay. And it's from a light novel. After dying of overwork in Japan.
Oh no, Karoshi.
Dahlia is reborn into a world filled with magic. Raised by a master of magical tool making, she develops a passion for the craft and becomes engaged to her father's apprentice. However, her father suddenly passes away, and on the day before the wedding, her fiancé announces that he's in love with someone else. Oh my god. Dahlia vows to be her own woman from now on and devotes herself to her craft by starting her own business.
She don't
so
need
this is
no
going to be a
man.
boss bitch anime.
Yeah, I don't need no man. Get the fuck out of here with your penis.
Now, I have no idea if there's any purpose to her being a reincarnated person, because based on that synopsis, it doesn't seem like her being reincarnated has anything to do with the plot. I could be wrong, but it doesn't seem like it. It's also not one of the most interesting synopses, but I'm going to give it a shot.
It could be amazing. It sounds like an isekai, so we know it'll be good.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. What kind of genius pick did I take here? So we already have one isekai, and now I have an anime here called Isekai Shikaku. So that's definitely 2 isekais. No longer allowed in another world. By Studio Atelier Pont Dark. Come on. Oh, they haven't done anything. Oh, they did Isekai Oji-san, which I didn't like very much. Although even though everybody else did. An adventure in another world with cute girls by your side and video game-like powers. Sounds like an anime fan's dream, but not so for melancholy author Osamu, who would literally prefer to drop dead. Video games haven't even been invented yet when he gets yanked into another world in 1948. This anime is definitely going to fail. I'm playing the trailer. Very CG looking rain. Very melancholy looking fucking people walking through a cemetery. But hey, it's made by Kadokawa, so there you go. What is he doing here? This guy looks like how Edgar Allan Poe looks. He looks like a sad, dark-haired European man that is insanely jaded and hates everything. Basically, that's what I'm seeing.
Sounds like somebody I know.
Well, I have no hair, so I don't know. So, I don't know. If a hot angel chick walked out of a portal and started talking to me, I think I would react. So there's well, maybe I'll change my tune about this because a giant tree just snatched up a big-titted cat girl and is currently undressing her. Is this an ecchi also? It is not. It's just a parody. Wow. Well, see, this is the difference between me and this guy. If a hot cat girl was anywhere in real life, I would be immediately interested. But he doesn't care. So, and if you're not going to be interested in the hot cat girl, there's nothing that will interest you. So maybe he really should just drop dead, like the synopsis said. I don't know much about this other than the fact that the studio's not looking too good. The cat girl is a main character, and her name is Tama. Oh, wow. Maybe this is definitely passing. I changed my mind. That's no longer allowed in another world. An isekai joint by Atelier Pontark. Mason, you're up.
Yeah, this show is probably, of all the ones on my list, probably the most immediately repulsive to Mitsugi, but we'll see. We'll see. And that is Nare Nare Cheer For You. This is a high school cheerleading show. And, doesn't do a lot to sell me off the bat. That said, it's done by PA Works, who have been on such a string of successes between Skip and Loafer, Buddy Daddies, Kongming, and Akiba Maid War that we talked about earlier, that I have to give them a chance.
Staying in the flames?
Because they've just been smoking. They've been killing it. This is an original. It is on Crunchyroll. It's directed by Bang Dreams. It's my go, Kodai Kakimoto. And yeah, it looks like a PA Works show about cheerleaders. Whether that's good or bad will very much depend on if you like PA Works shows. I don't honestly know that much about cheerleading, but it could be cool.
You're about to learn, son.
I'm going to learn. And honestly, if we get something on par with Zexus's surprisingly solid backflip anime, which was, a male gymnastics show, which just had some really good performances with some character spice to go along with it, this could be pretty solid. I don't think this is going to be incredible, but I'm expecting like a baseline decent Bida anime with this one. So that's Nare Nare Cheer For You. And
yeah, actually, I was a bit interested in this one as well. I had it higher than you did, but based on how the dice rolled,
I just lucked out. Yeah.
Yeah. So and honestly, by the description, I was not that interested in it. But then I watched the trailer, and I feel like with this season, I am largely going based on trailer vibes, sometimes over the synopses. So, yeah.
We'll see.
And speaking of which, here's one that will fit the bill of what I was just talking about. My number five pick, Make Heroine ga O Sugiru. Makine? I don't know. Too many losing heroines.
You've got the hardest words.
I have no idea I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying it in with Japanese pronunciation or English pronunciation. Either way, I have no idea. Too many losing heroines. I'm just gonna say that. It's done by Studio A1 Pictures, based on a light novel. Here is the synopsis. Kazuhiko Fukumitsu. I really don't know what's up with me today. I'm just doing terrible.
Have you been drinking?
No.
Have you been puffing on the Swedish Chiba?
I'm really bad at talking today. I apologize. So this guy this girl, guy? I don't know.
God.
A
Are you having a stroke?
Background character accidentally witnessed. This is a boy. Witnessed his popular classmate Ana Yanami being rejected by her childhood friend. Then Kazuhiko has become involved with several loser heroines, including Ana. That was the synopsis, and it was terrible. It was such a bad freaking synopsis, and I was going to just drop it immediately. And then I watched the PV, and again, going solely based off of the PV vibes here. I think it just feels good and looks good. So we'll see if the synopsis is actually telling of the show, or if they should just get rid of that writer, because that was terrible.
All right.
That's it. That's all I got. I really have no other information on that.
You really sold that one.
I really did. How it made it to my number 5, I have no idea.
Well, it is the summer season, so.
Yeah. Don't judge people.
Okay, my next pick. Can it possibly beat Cat Girls being undressed by a tree? Let's see. A Tree, My Dear Moments. Wow, by Studio Troika. I actually know this studio. Studio Troika's number 1 show is... Oh, no. Old Noah Zero.
Didn't they do Recreators? Or am I thinking of something else?
Recreators, Old Noah
Recreators
Zero.
Was all right.
And what is this? This is the Yuri show. Bloom Into You are their top 3 shows. So that's not a particularly good track record. I mean...
Bloom Into You was okay.
I don't remember liking it, but I barely remember it at all. So... All No Zero, I only remember the music because it's pretty good, but other than that, not good. So the synopsis of this anime is that in the near future, a sudden and unexplained rise in sea levels have left humans underwater, so it sounds like a Verdurious planet or whatever. A boy who lost his fuck you commercials on my anime list, you can go straight to hell. A boy who lost his mother and his leg in an accident some years later returns disillusioned from a harsh life in the big city to find his old countryside home, half swallowed by the sea, blah, blah, blah. His only hope to restore the dreams for the future, I don't know. He's going to find a robot girl named Atri. So, and then his whole life will change. I'm sure. It's a romance sci-fi, so he's going to love her the way that they love the Persicoms and Chobits. It's an Aniplex joint. Here we go. Oh, the art looks very nice. Oh, this could be good. I don't know. It just has a good setting and vibe to it. It looks quite nicely drawn. Very brightly colored and nice looking. Oh, here's an underwater shot. They're exploring the sunken human civilization in a submersible, and he finds a robot girl at the bottom of the ocean. So that's better than finding her in the garbage, like in Chobits. But she's not nearly as cute as Chi. It's unfortunate. Skipping ahead. Robots. Up, robots in swimsuits. Moe-looking robots in swimsuits. Will they all be robots, or are some of these human? I don't know. Okay, that was very interesting. I'd say it looks like a comedy to me, but I guess they classified it as sci-fi because the world's water levels have risen. That's Atri, My Dear Moments, and I don't know. Well, that one has some chances, I think, of being a passing.
Yeah,
so we'll
I
have
put
to
that
see.
one lower on my list as well.
Doesn't look too terrible. Mason, you're up.
That actually reminds me, when I was doing my picks, I can't remember what it's called, but there was another anime coming out this season about a guy who needed somebody, like he doesn't have any significant other, he doesn't have any time to date, so he gets a robot. He buys a robot to cook and clean for him, and then he falls in love with the robot.
Of course.
So yeah, and then they actually like let's just be together. Let's just get married. I don't know if they actually talk about marriage, but yeah, that interesting show. It looks like.
Well, I would rather take robot relationships than my next one, which absolutely floored me when I came to realizing that it was on my list. And that is Gimai Seikatsu, aka Days with My Stepsister. And do I need to say more than that title? This is done by Studio Dean. It's on Crunchyroll, and it actually started as a YouTube series that got so popular that it got a light novel the next year, and a manga, and now finally a couple years later an anime. So if you couldn't tell by the title, The synopsis reads, after his father's remarriage, Yuta suddenly becomes step-siblings with his classmate Saki. Carrying the scars of their parents' troubled divorces, they vow to maintain a respectful distance, but as the two settle into a shared lifestyle, could their relationship blossom into something more? The synopsis asks. So,
Mitz, we don't need the sound effects.
Well, it's a
the
stepsister anime, so
the PV gave me almost nothing to go on. So there's really only two ways that this domino can fall. On one hand, we could get a very grounded, realistic take on the issues, both personal and interpersonal, of teenagers as they struggle to navigate through the turbulences and uncertainties of life
so
as things change. Or incest. Am I right, fellas? Like
much
those,
more
that's
interesting.
really
At least
what...
Domestic Girlfriend was a batshit crazy dumpster fire that was entertaining. This one just seems like it wants to be that, but doesn't have the guts to go far enough.
What kind of vibes are we going to get with Days with My Stepsister? I think will be very make or break. It could be, as Caroline said, super trashy and fun. It could be super straight-laced and impactful. It could just be like...
No.
Not blood-related. Wink, wink. So, I'm going to go in, give it a fair shot, because I am very generous in my rulings, but nonetheless, it has a bit of a hill to climb. We have those stigmas in society and culture, and can it overcome them will be the test. So that is Days with My Stepsister.
You know what I'm expecting?
Anime has really opened my eyes to apparently just how often parents get married and don't tell their children, or don't even tell their children that they're in a relationship. Don't
what?
even
that shit doesn't happen in real life.
In these anime, so frequent they're like, well, child, I'm getting married, and the child doesn't even know that they were dating in the first place.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
No, it happened in Domestic Girlfriend. It happened in Slow Loop.
No, I know in anime it happens.
In this one.
I'm saying in real life it doesn't happen.
I'm sure it doesn't, but according to anime, it does.
And you know what else is going to happen when I watch this anime? Erections. And that's pretty much what I'm going in here to see. I'm expecting erections.
Dab emoji.
It's got erection vibe. It's got them vibes sticking out of the pants, okay?
There you go.
Stepsisters, ahoy.
Caroline, what's next?
Oh, no. Oh, Mitsugi's gonna get gross again.
Yes.
Because
Feed me.
Next one on my list is Giji Harem, or pseudo harem.
Oh my god.
But maybe not really, because it's not actually a harem.
What?
It's kind of a harem.
How dare you do that to me?
I will explain. Synopsis. Eiji Kitahama is a second-year high school student, just wants to be popular. To help him realize this dream, Rin Nanakura, his junior in the drama club, uses her acting skills to create a harem of loving girls for him. Though the various girls all show fondness toward Eiji, the affection of the actress behind them is very real. Rin's colorful acting continuously delights Eiji, but will the starlet ever make herself into, or ever find her way into his heart? Yeah, it's another rom-com without the rom.
Why?
I'm thinking.
Do you hate me?
Yeah. No.
That's what I thought.
Well, when you make gross jokes all the time, you make it kind of easy to annoy you with these things. It is going to be...
What do my gross jokes have to do with all the rom-coms?
No, it's not that. It's that your gross jokes make me feel less guilty.
Oh, you just don't mind. So
yeah.
That's fine. So that's fair.
I don't know if this is going to really pass. It's by Studio Nomad, based on a manga. But here's the thing. It looks kind of cute. I kind of like this stuff. I am a bit concerned that it's not tagged romance or rom-com on the Mal page. So it's, at the very least, it's going to be very surface level romance stuff. Even though it seems like this whole synopsis is about this girl really liking this boy. And how does this boy not realize that this girl really likes him, considering she's going through all this trouble to make up multiple girlfriends for him?
He's an oblivious
moron. And act
moron.
the part every day.
It's a comedy romance according to any list, so...
Okay. But I'm not sure why they didn't do that on Mal. But...
On Mal, what do they list for the manga? Because the manga has 6 volumes out, so there's more to go on.
They have in the themes. Stop it. Themes, romantic subtext.
Ooh, subtext.
Subtext.
Well,
That's even worse than none at all.
Yeah, it really is.
well, so much for that.
I don't know.
Okay.
It still looks cute. I'm gonna give it a try.
Could be cute. Could be cute. All right, my next pick on here. I closed down my document because I'm an idiot. Let's see here. It's going to be good. We're in the top 3 now. We're running really long, but I'm gonna do my best here. So this anime is, as I reestablish all my pages, because I don't know, the world hates me. Wistoria, Wand and Sword. Will Surfort dreams of keeping his promise to a childhood friend by becoming a Magia Vonder. This is terrible.
Sounds great.
Childhood friend, pet peeve number 1 activated. One of the mighty magicians who sits atop the wizard's tower. However, he is unable to cast even the simplest spells, leaving him to fight dungeon monsters and earn credits. During credits at the academy, as if that weren't enough, he finds himself putting his sword skills to the test against a bullying professor. I'm not even going to watch this trailer. I know this is going to be fucking terrible. By Studio Actis and Bandai Namco. Actis has done Girls into Panzer, Princess Principal. Okay, so Actis has a few things here worth talking about, but that's a bad synopsis. Wow.
It really is a season of bad synopses.
There's no fucking way this passes. This Wistoria, Wand and Sword. It just looks like a generic fantasy show. What the hell are people thinking when they pick these shows to make anime out of? They're like, what have we done 300 times? Oh, I know. Let's be creative. How about a guy at a magic school can't use magic? Oh, gee, that's so groundbreaking. Oh, I can't believe it. Anyway, that's not going to pass.
It's like you don't realize you placed this number 3 on your list yourself. And I know that we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel here for this season, but still, it's kind of funny how surprised you are.
I would rather watch this anime that's bad than spend an hour watching 40 trailers. So,
yeah,
I'm already ahead of you guys by an hour on this season. So how do you feel about that?
Mitsuki stays winning.
And look how
I'm winning.
You are.
Tiger blood. Mason, you're up.
Let me know if this synopsis sounds familiar for the anime Shoshimin How to Become Ordinary. The story centers on Kobato, who after a painful experience wishes to live a quiet and ordinary life. He and Yuki form a mutually beneficial relationship, in quotes, as Yuki also wants the same thing. They start high school as classmates with a plan to spend their peaceful days as ordinary people, but unfortunately they keep getting wrapped up in mysteries and disasters, and they have to solve them. So, this is based on a novel by Honobu Yonezawa, who you might not know the name of, but he is the writer of Hyoka's original light novels. So if you've ever seen Hyoka, I'm expecting something very similar to that.
Yeah, me too.
This is directed by Mamoru Kanbei from The Promised Neverland and The Perfect Insider, and honestly seems like a good pick for those kind of dark, brooding mystery things. I'm not expecting it to be as supernatural as a lot of the other mystery shows as of late, which I think is a good thing. I could do without it. Though that said, this is done by Lap and Track, who did Undead Girl Murder Farce, so they do have some experience with the dark, supernatural mystery aspect. This will be on Crunchyroll, and honestly, if this just has really solid characters, really good writing, as with what we saw with Hyoka, this could be solid. It could be good. This is probably my dark horse pick of the season without really knowing what the level of mysteries and how it all is going to shake out. But Shoshimin, How to Become Ordinary?
You see,
We'll see.
at first I was kind of interested in this because based on the synopsis I read, it kind of sounded like, well, these two characters are they're striving to be quote unquote ordinary, and like these random things keep on happening around them. I thought there was some sort of like status quo, like kind of dark utopia kind of thing that they are accidentally going against, and they have to pretend that they're ordinary or something like that. And then I realized that this is actually a lot more down to earth and just normal.
No, they just want to be
everyday
boring, but the
mysteries. And
world
I'm like,
wants to
damn
be
it,
fun.
damn my dark utopia.
They have the
Anyway,
displeasure of being anime characters, and they're going to have to deal with it. So we'll see how that goes. It could be boring as crap, but maybe it could be fun. Who knows?
all right, next up on my list is Nige Jozo no Wakagimi, translating to the elusive samurai, also known as Nige Waka, which I'm just going to call it from now on. I don't even know if they call it by the English translation very much. It's being done by Studio Cloverworks, based on a manga. And here's the synopsis. 8-year-old Tokiyuki Hojo is the next successor of the Kamakura shogunate. He's a young boy lacking talent in everything besides hide and seek. One day, his carefree life is abruptly turned upside down when the Kamakuras are overthrown. Rescued by a self-proclaimed prophetic priest, Tokiyuki manages to escape with his life. Now he must evade those trying to kill him while recruiting comrades who can help him restore the Kamakura shogunate to its former glory.
Oh my god.
What? What's wrong?
Just every story ever has the same plotline.
Okay.
Royalty loses his kingdom and comes back later. I'm playing a video game right now with the exact same plot.
Well, yeah, I'd say it's a very popular storyline.
Yeah.
Set in the Nanboku-cho period of Japanese history, Nige Jozu no Wakagimi is a tale of redemption, documenting the life of the forgotten hero that altered Japan's destiny by running away. Yeah, so, I mean, I wanted to... It's a shonen show. I think it'll be fun. Looks visually interesting. So, yeah. Number 3 on my list. As
All right.
Mitsuki groans.
Oh, it's just road as fuck. I mean, it's and nobody in nobody in like feudal Japan ever ran away and didn't kill themselves through seppuku. So I don't know what the hell that's about, but there's absolutely no way. Your loss of face would be so intense that you would have to kill yourself. That would be the only way to get around it. Like, go watch one of the historical samurai shows on Netflix. That's all they do is seppuku all day long. This next one is really the reason why we're all watching the summer season, and that is Elf-san wa Yaserare, or plus-sized elf, baby. Yeah.
Oh,
Done by
Thick is in, baby.
Thick is back. Thicker than a Snicker. Yeah, that's right. This is the only thing the studio's ever done. That's not true. They did an ONA. Oh. They did. Mason's making a face. He knows what's coming. Studio Elias did. Why? I can't. Literally, Twitch just blocked the word thick. THICC. And that's not even a word. So, good Lord.
Well, they spelled it wrong. It wasn't in all caps. If it was all caps, then they would have been allowed.
Twitch is the most
Twitch knows.
most PG, it's G-rated platform ever. So Studio Elias is the studio, and they've only done one other thing, and it's titled "Seduced by My Best Friend," a hentai OVA of 8 episodes, which we never covered on the hentai episodes. Anyway, so Naoe-kun, a massage therapist, is about to head home for the day when he's saddled with the rather strange patient. A lovely lady, has emerald eyes, pointy ears, and grew up in the forest. Everything about her screams elf, except for one thing, her bodacious bod. I'm not sure that's how I'd phrase it. It turns out she left her world, but loves junk food in this one. Oh, the seed oils got her. And now she's obsessed. Her obsession has caught up with her. Can Naoe-kun help this lovable elf girl lose the weight and keep it off? The first shot of the trailer is tits. I'm watching it right now. This elf girl shows up. Oh, now they're grabbing stomach pudge. It's grabbing stomach pudge again. How many times are they going to grab the stomach fat in this trailer? It's happened twice. She's obsessing over french fries. Me too. This smacks of like how heavy are the dumbbells you lift a little bit. It has the same vibe.
Heavy over the dumbbells you lift meets like my 600-pound life.
She's not that heavy. I mean, she's probably 5'8", 180. I wouldn't say she's like giant. Well, that was a really underwhelming trailer, but it definitely has How Heavy Are the Dumbbells vibes to it. Like, it's going to be a very non-serious, like, this food has calories, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Just eat
And
fucking...
stomach grabbing.
Just eat steak all day. Honestly, that's all you need to do. All right, next. I don't know if that'll pass or not. It definitely looks like a harem. I mean, there's like 70 girl characters that all look overweight in the promo. So I don't know where all these like fantasy overweight girls are coming from. But
another world.
Yeah, they came from Japan and moved to America. That's what happened. All right, and we are done with that. So Mason, you're up.
Yeah, we're in the top 2 for all of us. My number 2 is certainly a show that I don't think will be good. Like, there's a lot of reasons and biases that I have that are both foundational and unfounded, but this could very well be a disaster, and that is Suicide Squad Isekai.
Oh no, a third Isekai.
So, yeah, another Isekai, but we'll see. So, in the crime-ridden city of Gotham, as we all know, the Advanced Research Group Uniting Superhumans, aka Argus, has assembled a group of notorious criminals, including Harley Quinn and a bunch of the other, Suicide Squad people that you know and love. And the supervillains are sent to a gate into a fantasy world of swords, magic, and dangerous creatures to accomplish a mission. And if they don't do the mission, they're going to die. And yeah, it's done by Wit Studio. It's an original, and it's going to be on Hulu and Max, HBO Max, whatever that is. So, yeah, very low expectations, but I had it high on my list because I'm just curious. I just want to see
That's fair.
What this is going to get into. Because, honestly, there's the smallest percent of a chance that this taps into whatever cyberpunk edge runners was smoking and, turns into a really clever way of taking an established Western media and, using anime to tell its own story. Like, that could be super cool. The Samurai Batman movies were awful, but kind of intriguingly bad in their own way. And considering the logo in the trailer already looks scuffed, like being the wrong aspect ratio, I do have really low expectations.
It's a good start.
I'm curious. We'll see. We'll all watch it together and either laugh at it or be like, ooh, not bad. Once again, fair take, but we'll see. But it's an isekai. It's probably not going to be good. What's next, Caroline?
I hated the Suicide Squad movies.
Similar to you, my number two pick was solely based on curiosity, like you. This is Shika Noko 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 Koshi Tantan.
This was my number 3 pick that you swiped from under me.
Swipe or no swiping, sorry. It's being done by Wit Studio, based on a manga. And here's the synopsis. No one knows Toroko used to be a delinquent. All of her classmates only know her as the perfect student. But everything changes when Nokotan, a transfer student with antlers, enters her life. Antlers aren't the only thing that's strange about Nokotan. Her dear nose can sniff out Toroko's secret past. Whether it's at school or the zoo, chaos follows this doe-eyed girl's every step. Toroko has so many questions. Is Nokotan a deer, a girl, or something in between? I did not have any interest in this show when I read the synopsis. But then I watched the trailer, and it's chaotic, weird, Nichijou vibes, I think. And it definitely feels like probably the most off-the-wall anime that is coming out this season, which instantly puts it above the dime of a dozen shows that are coming out at the same time. And it's just, at points it looks pretty good. At other points, like the deer that they put in this show is the worst CGI I've ever seen, but I think it's supposed to be that way. It just looks so interesting. So let's do it. Number 2 pick.
All right.
Yeah, just all the weird deer on all the promotional images looks so bad in such a great way. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, and like the trailer's like, what is deer? Why not deer human? And like, what the hell is this?
Last picks.
Last
what do
picks.
We got?
So very under the radar, but not for me, is my number 1 pick, Tensui no Saku no Hime, or Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, which is a video game that Pancake and I played, and I covered it on Hobby Addicts, and the video game was quite good. I don't know if the anime will be good, but I'm going to pull the trailer up right here. So, this is an anime about a god that gets banished from her celestial home for being a dunce, pretty much. And you spend the game reclaiming your power and atoning for your crimes in the celestial world by purging this island of demons, and you do it by planting rice. So that's pretty much, this anime is half, the video game is half farming simulator and half beat 'em up anime, or beat 'em up game. And your rice quality determines your character's level. And I would say that just watching this trailer, the anime looks exactly like the game. This is quite a solid video game, honestly. I mean, it's not a case of a game coming out simultaneously as an anime, or an anime being made after a bad game. This game was routinely like 8.5 from critics, and I don't think anybody will watch this anime because nobody with me will give a shit. But the game was quite good. The anime could be good too. It's done by Toho Productions, Toho Animation, which has a lot of animation credits. They've worked on a lot of stuff. They may not be the primary studio, but they definitely helped with My Hero and Jujutsu Kaisen, as well as Dr. Stone and Haikyuu. So they may not be the primary studios, but they are listed as producers. So they've been around the block, and the anime has a shot of being good, although no one has marked it for watching except me. So it looks to be an exact copy of the game. So if you like this game, or you're interested in the synopsis of it, go check out Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. It definitely deserves an anime, and it should be. Oh, the studio's PA Works. I'm sorry, it's PA Works. So didn't we just talk about how good PA Works has been? So there you go.
Yeah, they're actually doing a bit this season.
Yeah, so that's my bad. But they also have Toho working on it, so they've got some good producers, some experienced production too. So. That's it. That's my last pick. Back to you, Mason.
Yeah, my number one pick. Probably not a surprise to most folks, but it's got to be Dead Demons, Day Destruction.
Yeah.
This is aliens have come and invaded Earth, and humans, we're not doing so well. All our conventional weapons have had no effect, and we pretty much get completely overrun, chased underground, and we're struggling. We're struggling real bad. But that really, the life in post-apocalyptic alien-run hellscape is what this is about, with these two girls, Koyama and her friend Nakagawa, who track the aliens' movements to try to stay alive, while also having to study for college entrance exams and try to live a bit of a normal life despite all the destruction and death that surrounds them. This is done by Production Plus H. It's based on a manga, actually a really good manga, relatively speaking, for Inio Asano, who is just acclaimed in the industry. It's a little less spicy than his usual fare, but it's the first proper anime adaptation of his. So if you've ever wanted to see what the hype was all about, but are literary challenged, this is a good chance to do it. You might think I'm cheating because I've already seen an episode, but
Pumpkin Eater.
It was episode 0, so it doesn't count. See, I'm okay. This will definitely be the Mason type show of the season, something really cerebral and weird, and mostly not in the wheelhouse of others, a la Sunny Boy or Heavenly Delusion, or maybe even like Wonder Egg Priority. I don't know. I'm expecting it to get wild and wacky and dark and serious and somber and just a whole gamut of different things. And I'm hoping to enjoy it. So that's Dead Demons, Day Destruction. And let's go. Let's see if it's good.
Let's fucking go, he said.
Let's go.
My last pick is Oshinoko second season. I mean, I generally liked the first season, though I would not have put it number 1 on my must-watch list had it not been for the fact that I don't feel very confident about all of my other picks for the season. So I'm choosing the one that I generally liked, and it's going to be my backup if none of the other ones pan out. And I just wanted to make sure that was on my list so I wasn't forced to pick 2 shows that I did not want to pass. So, yep, that's basically... I mean, I looked for a synopsis for the second season. It wasn't there on Mal, so Oh well.
They don't.
It's more Oshinoko.
They don't tend to bother.
Needs an introduction.
Yeah, when it's a season 2, they don't really bother to put it.
Yep. So everybody knows Oshinoko. I don't feel like I need to give the synopsis of the first season. But yeah, that's it. Those are our picks.
So the top picks are Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, Dead Demons Destruction.
Did I stutter?
Hard enough.
Today, Junior, and Oshinoko season 2, of course. So, and that's about it. I got some good picks here. I don't know what the best anime of the season will be, but I got a good feeling about this Atri anime. And I don't know. We'll see. We didn't pick too many isekais this time.
No, hopefully. Yeah, we'll see.
We're running mad long. Let's get us to the news break here. How about that?
Okay. Here's our in-show weekly trivia question. What is the first thing that they cook and eat in Dungeon Meshi? And we'll give you the answer after the news break.
Hey, anime fans, it's Mitsuki, and I'm bringing you that sweet, sweet anime news. Getting us started off here, we've got a new anime coming out from a video game, which is also not released yet. Farmagia, or I'm not really sure. Is it Farmagia? I'm not sure how to pronounce this exactly, but looks like the company Marvelous, which is going to be releasing this game on the Switch, PlayStation 5, and PC on November 1st, is getting an anime made after this game as well. It really does look to resemble Pokemon on the promo art. However, it's about a man after the death of Felicidad's ruler. The despotic overlord Glaza seizes power and imposes an impressive regime on the world's inhabitants. 10 of his fellow Farmagia friends command an army of monsters as you explore and battle across the treacherous lands of the underworld. So it definitely looks like Pokemon, coming out on the Switch, on the 1st of November, as well as PlayStation 5. So if you're a fan of Pokemon and like to play games where you battle monsters, Farmagia and the anime coming out here sometime in the future. Next up, the voice actor Toru Furuya, who's been in trouble in the past a bunch of times, is now stepping down as his role in Detective Conan as Toru Amuro, and also Sabo in the One Piece franchise. It looks like the production agency Aoni Production asked Furuya to step down, which he agreed to do so. He's been in trouble in the past for basically misbehaving in relationships. He admitted that he had a relationship with a female fan for 4.5 years until last September, and did some pretty not friendly things to that person while they were in a relationship. If you want to read more about it, go ahead, but it was bad enough to merit being removed from his current roles. Next up, we have the Eisner Awards for 2024. The nominees for Best U.S. Edition of International Material in Asia include DRCL Midnight Children, which sure looks like a vampire story with some pretty impressive cover art. We also have other titles called My Picture Diary, Goodbye Eri, River's Edge, and The Summer Hikaru Died, also The Horizon. So there's a bunch of other ones on here too. So if you want to check this out, this tends to be some of the best manga out there. So if you want to look this up, I'd look up the Eisner Awards for 2024. And lastly, AI. Well, it just doesn't agree with everybody, including myself. But the voice behind the original Evangelion takes a stand against AI art. So the singer of the classic Cruel Angel's Thesis was scheduled to be at a concert called The First Concert at the Sakuda Hall in Shibuya by the Ikebukuro Animation Philharmonic Orchestra, but has said that she will not be attending the concert due to AI that was used to create the promotional art and materials for the concert representing Evangelion. So this has not only further showcased the growing presence of AI art in the anime industry, but also the solidarity that many are taking within the industry, including vocals and music talent. So if you want to read more about this, that's fine. More of a personal belief story, but not everybody loving AI's influence in anime. This was Mitsuki, and this was your anime news break. And now, time to get back to the podcast.
Hey, Mandy, you look troubled. What's wrong?
But
Excuse me? It's all of these anime boy buds. There's just so many of them. I can't decide what's my favorite. I've tried to categorize them by firmness, bounciness, rotundness.
Okay. 2 things. First, you may need some serious help. Second, why don't you go look at the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast website?
Can that help me get to the bottom of this?
Stop. You know, puns are my thing, right? Also, no, it won't help you with that at all. You are beyond help. But on our website, you can find all our past shows, along with reviews and trivia. Sign up today, and you'll have access to our Hobby Addicts and Hentai episodes.
Hentai episodes? So I can hear other people review butts for me?
Sure. I guess if you want to look at it that way.
Now that's something I can get behind.
Cheeky.
Hi, this is Kate Oxley, voice of Akane Tsunemori in Psycho-Pass, How Guilty Are You? And I am a total anime addict.
What up, motherfuckers?
Not very nice, man.
I'm back. The show must go on. What is the first thing they cook and eat in Dungeon Meshi? Huge scorpion and walking mushroom hot pot. Very nice. Indeed. All right, and we'll get to Dungeon Meshi in just a second, but first we have to get through this mailbag.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag. If you
would like to submit an anime mailbag, you can do so at AAApodcast.com. Just click on the mailbag button. Were you about to steal my thunder, Mitts?
Yeah. That's what I do.
Okay. Well, we have one here from Barrett50Cal. They say, "Greetings, AAA hosts. I'm trying to run through my list of anime to watch, and nothing is grabbing me as others have in the past. I know y'all probably answered this question in the past, but if you had one anime that everyone had to watch, which one would it be?" I don't know. This was a tough one to answer because I am hard pressed to find an anime that would be like just like an easy recommendation to literally everybody, and also one that is at the top of my
Bible
list
Black
of things that you have to watch. No, that you have to watch. It's a tough question. And I also don't want to go on and on about shows I've mentioned 5,000 times, but I decided to put down Mob Psycho 100 because I think it's a little gem, though I still don't know if everybody would gravitate towards Mob Psycho 100. So I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah, it's a tricky question. So I took the coward's way out and said, okay, if I could mandate that people had to watch a certain show, I would do them a favor and give them probably the most universally beloved, but also most, oh, I need to watch it someday, but people never do, which is Legend of the Galactic Heroes, because it's old, it's 110 episodes, and ain't nobody got time for that.
Nope.
But I'm demanding it because if I got to be king, I would be gracious enough to demand your fealty and make you watch it because
demand fealty. Wow,
but it's so good, and it's the pinnacle of the. I put it off, and I don't know why I did because now that I watched it, it's so dang good. So I'm going with that. Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
So my approach to this was just to pick some important staples. If you want to be an anime fan, you should watch My Neighbor Totoro. That's kind of a given. If you're listening to this and you haven't watched My Neighbor Totoro, well, it's kind of like, I don't know. You're missing a key building block. The arch will collapse. Anyway, and I'm very biased, and Dragon Ball's all over my YouTube lately, so I will take Dragon Ball, which is probably the biggest shonen show that's ever come out. So we'll just go with that. But I mean, there's hundreds of shows that could qualify, but yeah, you have to at least be well versed in the history of anime. So I would start with that.
Yeah. Good luck finding your next big obsession of anime.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
like they're probably gonna say, "Oh, I saw this, this, and this. Like this didn't help me whatsoever."
Yeah. So there you go. Or you could watch our review of Dungeon Meshi, which is a winter 2024 show. This was passed by the listeners after I failed it on episode 714.
You failed this?
I failed this show.
Wow. I can't wait to hear why.
I mean, you did, but you forgot.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
You think you expect me to remember something that happened 5 minutes ago? Gosh.
We'll talk about it.
I'm
This
old.
is streaming on Netflix. And yeah, the synopsis is the adventurer Laos, and his company are attacked deep in the dungeon by a red dragon, and they kind of get their butts beat in. They lose all their money, all their resources, and even some of their companions get a little chomped on. And they want to go back and save them, but they have, like I said, no money, no resources. And how are you going to make it all the way down without, all these supplies? Well, the answer that they come to is we could eat our way down by, after killing monsters, giving them a little a cook and chomping down. And that's what they do. It's a cooking show mixed with a dungeon crawling adventure. All the D&D type fantasy stuff that you love is in here. It's directed by Yoshihiro Miyajima. It's done by Studio Trigger, and it's based on a manga that I think I already said. So, with all that, what were your expectations going in? Caroline.
Oh, okay. I'm going first. I did hear a lot of people talking about it and liking it, but I'll be honest, it really sounded like it was going to be like a very relaxed slice of life, and I wasn't very interested in watching it because, I mean, it just doesn't seem interesting enough to make for 2 exciting cores. It was a double core, so... And honestly, I'm getting tired of all the fantasy adventuring shows. Like, I'm a tank and I'm a mage and we are going into the dungeon and we are going to kill some monsters. Like, it's starting to get really old. So I was not exactly looking forward to this one.
She's becoming jaded, Mason. Do you see this?
I'm not
She's seeing the formula.
Yeah, it's coming into shape.
Okay, I will say that there are a lot of formulaic shows. I'm not going to lie, there are. It's just I happen to gravitate towards certain formulas, and I haven't gotten
Well,
tired
that's
of
fine.
some
We
of them
all
yet.
do. We all gravitate towards certain things.
But I definitely am one to say that there are formulas here. I'm not saying there aren't.
How about you, Mitz? Expectations going in?
I had recalled that Mandy, well, she loved this manga. I was going to say something really inappropriate, but I decided not to. So
For the best.
probably for the yeah, anyway, so she loved this manga, and then I saw the 8.7 or whatever it has on my anime list, and I was like, well, it's probably good. But and I also like when they're on Netflix, Netflix has the best player. They tend to be dubbed in every friggin' language known to mankind. Netflix just doesn't fuck around. They're like, hi, we're going to give you this player that works much better than High Dive does or Crunchyroll, and we're going to put this in every possible language known to humankind because we have every kind of possible viewer, and we're better than you. So I was happy it was on Netflix. It makes things so much easier to watch. So much better. So I had high expectations.
Yeah. My hopes were pretty moderate. I like Trigger, but honestly, when I read the manga a couple years ago, what I read of it was pretty so-so. It just didn't really land with me with the kind of comedy of it and kind of what Caroline alluded to. It really starts off with very episodic, just chill. Oh, we're cooking a monster of the week kind of thing. We're just eating it at the end of the episode instead of leaving it to fester. So I was, it had potential, but it was just very fine in my book. So, Caroline, did you end up coming around? Would you recommend Dungeon Meshi to the good folks?
I would, drumroll please. Yeah. The first half was pretty episodic, as I was anticipating. But luckily, I thought the characters and the visuals carried it pretty well. Like, I was watching the first few episodes and I'm like, holy crap, it moves so well, and things that you wouldn't expect to look good do. And I was just like, I was really surprised by that. Also, I felt like the core group that we were following here, I enjoyed them. I thought they bounced off each other pretty well. And then as I was starting to like, okay, we're in this midpoint of this season, the mid-length climax is supposed to be here. Let's see if it changes or if it stays the same. And I thought that they did enough in the midpoint that it did kind of change things. Like, it added a little bit more stakes. It brought in a big fight, and it started getting into some of the I don't know if it's a mystery per se. It's a bit of a mystery behind the dungeon. It started getting into that. They started talking about the ecosystem of this dungeon, and I thought it was pretty cool. They really fleshed it out, put a lot of effort into creating and explaining this whole like food chain and ecosystem they have going on. I do think some of the characters had moments of just being a little too much here and there, but overall, I thought they were pretty likable. Marcel, yeah, I thought her bad attitude towards making or having dungeon food, like, I get it, but it was like, okay, you know the formula, you complain, they cook it anyway, you eat it anyway, and you say, oh my god, it's so good. And then you do the same thing the next episode as if you didn't have a delicious meal. And I guess that's kind of realistic. It's hard to, like, grapple this whole new way of eating things. Like, if I were to eat organs, like, I know a lot of people do, but I personally find it kind of gross. If I were to eat something like an organ and I might actually find it tasty, the next day, if you give me a different organ, I would probably react the same way. That being said, I just got a little old. But overall, I thought it was really good for being a two-core kind of relaxed type of show, and yet it did add in a certain amount of intrigue that kept it good.
Nice, yeah. Pretty fair. Mitsugi, what do you think?
You're not the only one that didn't like whatever the hell the fucking elf's name was. Marcel. I mean, I actually
like her. It's just those moments I didn't like.
So the funny thing is that so I do recommend this anime, and I already did, and I actually liked this anime so much that I slowed down watching it because Pancake was in Iowa, and I was like, you know what, Pancake would really like this, and I was like, let's just pause. So I watched about half of it, waited for Pancake to come home, and I put it on, and Pancake immediately didn't like she didn't like Marcel immediately. She does whine and bitch a lot in the beginning. Oh my god, blah 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 blah. It's fine, bitch. Starve then. I don't give a fuck. Then you won't be in my show anymore. I mean, I don't know. Eat or don't. I don't give a shit, but don't bitch about it. So, and Cho-Chuk also not always great. He has a tendency to be a whiny little bitch. Some of the times he likes to complain and whinge and be like, oh my god, I'm so important. You must do what I say, and blah blah. It's like, how about you shut up before I take a dump bigger than you? Honestly. So.
Oh, another poop joke.
We were on fire today. So that being said, I actually thought the characters in this anime were extremely likable. It is really a show that doesn't have much of a narrative, so the characters are really important. And at least, well, I mean, honestly, like, I was thinking to myself, like, how many shows have a cast of characters this consistently likable? And I thought immediately, I was like, wow, you know what? I don't want to be hyperbolic, but I was like, Cowboy Bebop, Spike, Jet, Faye, Ein, Ed, all likable characters. And I'm like, wow, Dungeon Meshi, Senshi, Laios, Marcel, Cho-Chuk, and whatever the hell, put another fifth character in there. It's like, they might not be as good as the Bebop crew, but it's a pretty good example of a show where most of the characters landed, and they all have like a unique personality that all stands out. They're all very interesting, pretty likable for the most part. They have moments where they're not, but exceptionally strong cast of characters, and that really helped a lot. I thought the setting was fun. The atmosphere was quite good. Watching them all make the food and prepare the food and talk about nutrition and all that was very interesting and done quite well. I thought the OP and the ED were really good until the second OP.
I actually like the second OP better than the first OP.
The second OP had better visuals. The first OP was a better song.
And to be honest, I didn't really mind the simple story. You know, I mean, the whole first half of the show is just trying to get back to the Red Dragon. So, you know, I didn't mind that because it's not really what it's about. This is obviously just a show about eating monsters. So, yeah, I thought it was good. I'd recommend it.
I am very surprised that you are so favorable to the show because to me it has everything that you dislike.
Please go on.
It is slice of life, Iyashike, almost, I think. 2 core, and another kind of run-of-the-mill type of adventurer show.
Well, I don't mind the adventurer shows.
Okay, I thought you were getting tired of them as much.
No, I'm just tired of rom-coms. And the what was your other statement? 2 cores. Well,
slice of life, relaxed 2 core.
Slice of life. I mean, I think that's a stretch, honestly. Like, if we can call this slice of life, then literally anything is a slice of life.
You know, slice of life in a way that it's like a very like an episodic type show. That's all.
Oh well.
My use of terms is not perfect.
It just helps that the quality of the show is so high that it just has the it factor. Honestly, like, to be honest with you, I can't really explain it other than the fact that everything's executed, maybe not perfectly, but pretty damn well. It's just fun to watch and enjoyable. Even like some of the cool scenes, like in the beginning when he's like, "Oh, this plant monster, you got to cut it at its root," and then they have
the
like
mandrake. Yeah,
they got a couple really cool like action scenes. And it's just, I don't know, the pacing was just good. You know, it's like, oh, we're going to wander through this dungeon. Now it's time to eat. And you get to like watch them cook. And Senshi, who is just like my wife, which is pretty weird, is, you know, talking about like, you have to eat right, get a lot of sleep, and exercise. And it's like my wife's literally like that exact human. And, you know, they're all talking about all the nutrition and the techniques. And I don't know, it just has the it factor. I don't know what to say. And the fact that it's dubbed makes this much easier to watch. So, I may never watch a subtitled 2-core show again.
Not that I'm trying to criticize any of your thoughts on any shows, but how did this show differ in being more favorable to you compared to Free Ren? Because they're not like the same show, but they're kind of similar.
I can answer
in that
that.
It's an adventuring show with magic, a little bit of fighting here and there, but mostly, you know, relaxed and more based on the characters than not the action.
So I can answer that. So, I mean, people may or may not agree. I don't, you know, you guys may not agree, listeners may not agree. Don't really care. To me, Free Ren has very serious pacing problems, and the 2 main characters, the 2 girls, are as boring as fucking toast. Like, they're literally toast that you just take out, you put it in the toaster, and you eat
butter.
it, but you don't put any butter on it, no cinnamon sugar, no jelly, nothing. Because Free Ren and the fucking purple-haired girl, they have no personality at all. They're literally walking rocks, and that combined with just walking around doing like squirrel hunting and all this other boring bullshit for the first 8 episodes or whatever, it was just not for me. And frankly, I don't really care if you want to cry about all the people that died because you lived 500 years. Don't care. Not interested in that. So really, this show has far better characters than Free Ren. I don't care what anybody says. It's not even close. And the tone of Free Ren isn't fun and enjoyable the way this is. Free Ren's all misery and fucking, you know, pacing problems. And this might not be a serious show, but at least it's like well-paced and it's fun to watch as opposed to, well, you know, Free Ren, which is going to go on forever too, probably. So that's the answer. The characters in this are far better. Free Ren is not she's not a good character. I don't care what anybody says. She's boring. And I think if anybody said she wasn't, that would be a massive cope because Free Ren is a boring character. So there you go.
We'll get more into the
I
review.
feel like you are somewhat valid in your opinions. I won't say that I agree as much as you. But
we're not really gonna say the purple-haired girl from Free Rent's not boring, right? She literally
no,
could.
I honestly
She wouldn't know how to.
Say, I'm just giving you the slightest bit of support here. I also did not like Free Rent and Fern in Free Rent.
Free Rent and Fern wouldn't know fun if it slapped them in the tits. Honestly, there you go.
All right, enough about Free Rent. I'm sorry for bringing it up, everyone.
No, it's fine. You should bring it up.
It's a good discussion. It's an interesting thing. I will also recommend Dungeon Meshi, though I will not say it's got some flaws to it, and I would liken it to a perfect apple with a small hole in it where a worm just ate through it. Like, I can enjoy the apple, but I'm going to be thinking about that hole, and it's going to be hampering my enjoyment.
Oh, no.
Which is like, this is a decent show. Like, I'm going to be spending some time calling out these minor flaws and gripes, and the kind of thing I wouldn't do with an egregiously bad show. Like, if you are someone who is more laid back and you're watching, I highly recommend this. Put on the mostly decent dub, cook some food alongside it, and enjoy the journey, as Dungeon Meshi does a lot of things well. It's fun, it's easy to watch. Pretty much everything my co-host said is accurate. The animation of the characters, just the vibe of it, it's a good time. But my critical eye definitely kept on returning to issues here and there, mostly in some of the writing departments. We talked about Marcel. Her, especially early on, is part of why I didn't pass this show. Just the vibe was already very irritating, but it definitely got better, particularly in the second half. And we'll get to all that and more in our spoiler section of this review. So if you haven't seen it yet and don't want to be spoiled, go watch it. We all think it's pretty solid, at least. But here we go with spoilers.
Also, I feel like if you need... Sorry.
Oh my god!
If you need like a little bit more convincing, I don't think there will be a lot to spoil here.
No.
I mean, there is a little bit in the second half that we'll probably end up talking about, but for the most part, it's about the journey with this show. So don't worry too much if you want to just get a little bit more convinced here.
Yeah. So do we want to talk about the characters, since that was kind of the big kicking off point of the initial discussion?
I think this show really is the characters, honestly, as far as I could tell. So yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. So I suppose let's start off with Marcel, because she is kind of a divider here. Definitely, I think her personality was just a small, teeny tiny bit grating at the beginning. But I was pleasantly surprised by how much she managed to grow on me, and maybe grow in general over the course of the show. Because at first, complainy, and also seemed very weak in ability. But then we get to the halfway point, and she shows off like, oh, I know the ancient magic that we're not supposed to be doing, but it came in handy here and there. And so she did that, and then also getting into her backstory with her and Fallon was great. So yeah, I ended up really liking her by the end.
I didn't really dislike her from the beginning. She never got that grating. She's a little bit of, I don't know, maybe there needs to be some balance in the group, because you got Laios, who's like ready to eat fucking anything. Then you've got Senshi, who's obviously been eating anything for a long time. Chilchuk, who's generally down. And it's like, you got one character that doesn't want to eat fucking, ghost ooze. Like, I can't blame her, honestly. It is kind of annoying, but actually Chilchuk is less likable to me. We'll get to him.
I actually kind of like him.
Well, because he has these moments.
Yeah, I like Chilchuk way more than Marcel.
He has these.
I think his apathy. But then you realize it's not apathy at all. He's just really insecure about the fact that he is going to probably watch the people he cares about die. But he's putting it off as apathy so they could just get out and not have to deal with that situation.
Bro's got a wife and kids. He is tired of this life.
But he's so cute.
So
hey, easy there, Senshi.
I mean, it's fine. It's just that I think that like Marcel complains about food, not wanting to eat it, and that seems to die down a little bit as the show goes on, as she gets used to it. Chilchuk, though, has a few moments where he just like attacks other people's character when they're not even there, and it's kind of annoying. Like there's a scene where he gets real like sarcastic and starts like snipping and bitching at people. I can't remember what are they talking about. There's a scene in like episode 10 maybe where he's walking alone with somebody else and they're having a disagreement and he gets real sarcastic. And the orc and he's like, he just pops off at her and puts all these words in her mouth and acts like a total fucking little child that I just want to punch in the face. And then when he's like doing his stupid little like lock picking trap de-arming thing and Senshi doesn't follow his instructions perfectly as if anybody would be able to follow exactly where he was walking, he just like explodes and becomes like this maniac where he just bitches and whines about how people don't listen to him because he's so great. And I'm just like, bro, shut the fuck up. You're like 3'0", you have a bad attitude, and honestly you're not that likable. So I don't know, Marcel might complain about food, but to me he has like deeper personality problems where he's just like a total asshole sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. He is a bit of an asshole, but
no, I loved him.
I don't know why. He's just a likable asshole.
It's fine.
To me.
I mean, I don't hate him.
I think it might have to do with the fact that it becomes clear that he's not just an asshole because he's an asshole. That he has like deeper motivations for the things that he does and the things that he says. So it doesn't feel like it's such a surface level annoying personality trait. To me anyway.
It works because he feels like he's high strung and he's the most powerless in a lot of ways. So he's doing everything he can, even though he doesn't have much control over the situation. Where Marcel seems like so, by the book and by the numbers in a world, but then she's like, oh, but I'm also going to do like dark magic, which is like not allowed. Like she seems to fit the whatever that needs to be written by other characters, and whether it's the overacting of the voice performance or just some of her grading lines of not being compatible with stuff, it just was annoying at the beginning in a way that isn't unbelievable, but just was a little bit, okay, Marcel, we get it. Let's move on. So I don't think she was awful, but definitely a little bit grinding my gears at the beginning. Senshi just wanted to talk about food all the time, so he was kind of
got a little frustrating in the beginning too, because that's all he really cared about, and we didn't like. It felt like they just added him to the group, not really asking what his deal is a lot, which I thought was kind of strange. How quickly he was involved with the group, and yet they don't know a single thing about him. And then they kind of
they touch on it later.
Yeah, they touch on it later. It comes back, so that's good. I just thought it was a little strange how seamlessly he was added in when he came out of nowhere.
Yeah, but I think overall, despite the gripes we have with individual characters, the interplay of how they reference each other for jokes or different moments, how they dealt with them in different ways, was really well put together. I liked the core group of the four of them. I think the added on character of Itsusumi was so. Fallon was pretty much just a MacGuffin twice in the show, and she's going to keep on being that for a while. So that was she was fine. She was supposed to be this lovable, perfect one that we want to save as much as the rest of the characters, but we just really don't know her. Kabaru, the other guy who wants to be the hero who meets them, was kind of strange. Namari, the dwarf that used to be in the party, was so. She had a weird kind of low-key racism line when she talked about like the two characters who had like dark colored, almost like black type coded characters, and she's like, this one's Kaka and Kiki, don't ask me which is which. Like okay. That like moments like that were very passing, but like okay, like overall the rest of the characters were fine. They were well developed, they were memorable, but they weren't. This show is really, as Mitsuki said, the four characters, how they bounce off each other, and I think they did that well for the most part.
Yeah, I think one of the I don't know if this is something I just made up or if you guys noticed too, and I'm not making it up. It feels like they bounced off each other in different ways. Like they kind of connected and got on the same level about certain things depending on the duo. Like, Marcel and Chilchuck can be the straight man to Senshi and Laios's obsession with dungeon food, and Laios and Marcel got on the same wavelength about the dark magic stuff, and then so on and so forth. Like it kind of like they kind of make connections with each other. It's not just like, oh, this person gets along with this person doesn't get along with this person. It's kind of melded.
Different pairs cause different conversations.
And I think that's more a testament to the fact that they are not just such surface level personality types.
Yeah. It was one of those shows where if something happened and let's say Marcel does a spell, this creature comes in, if they removed any character from that situation and asked the viewer to be like, how would this character, like, write in what they would say, you could do it because you kind of know their vibe and personality, and we kind of got into each character's heads, their motivations, their fears, and became more rounded for that. So the show eventually got there. I guess for me, the biggest issue I had with the show was how manufactured everything felt in the writing. With the initial conceit of, okay, we need to go through the dungeon, we need to figure out how to eat monsters. This is this novel idea. And then everything that was ever brought up happened immediately. Like, okay, how are we going to eat monsters? Well, I immediately got this book on how to do it. We immediately meet Senshi. They are, early on, they're looking for eggs. How do we find eggs? They immediately find them. Mm-hmm. They are walking down the stairs and they're like, I wonder what eating armor would be like. The next room they literally encounter is full of armor that they eat. They will do like a TV cooking show where they're like, oh, we have to make this dish. But fortunately, I already made that dish in the past. Here it's ready to go. Like, it felt so, it took some of the magic out of it when everything seemed so convenient. Senshi has this backstory, which is really well done, of this whole, did he eat monster or man? Big mystery. This haunts him at night. What's it gonna be? And it could be this monster or could be his fellow companion. And they do this whole trickery of like, it wasn't the monster, but it's actually this monster, which we can change conveniently with these mushrooms right here to be exactly the meat that it needed to be for him to try it, to realize it wasn't. Like, it just felt not natural. And I like when they did have those natural, like, callbacks to the Mandrake or this or that, but it just, I don't know, it felt too disjointed despite that. So did you guys get that sense, or was it like, no, this is fine?
I probably didn't notice it like in the moment, but the more you talk about it, it was very convenient in a lot of times. And well, I do think I did notice that they would be like, oh, we are running low on food, and boom, a monster appears and perfect for meal making, kind of thing.
I think it's very much by virtue of them adapting the manga so close, where manga chapters have to be more contained. It made these episodes feel so, and the pacing was weird of like, oh, we have to save my sister, and they slowly go through the dungeon. Or this dude is poisoned and dying, let's slowly roast an entire chicken for hours as he like suffers. And I wonder if at one moment this show was supposed to be single core, because like episode 13 and with 14 we kind of get these like partial recaps as like Kabru and characters like completely re-explain, like, oh, they fought the red dragon and this happened and this happened and this happened, and they just kind of tonally repeat everything we just saw. And it kind of got like, I wonder if there was supposed to be a stopping point there. That said, besides the characters, I think the best character here is the dungeon itself, the ecosystem, the transformation of it's a cute little cooking show to like, no, it's eat or be eaten. This is a vicious place where there are stakes, there's parasites within parasites, and it's gross, and you got to think about that. Like, I liked how, you know, they cooked from the stuff in the dungeon, but they also used the dungeon to cook. Like, all the traps, they got oil out of it, or the fires from this.
Yeah,
like,
that was cool.
That was really clever. I liked how not everything tasted good. Sometimes they made a meal, and they're like, ew, gross, this tastes like garbage. Like, if every meal was, oh, oishi, so tasty, it would have been a little lame. But yeah, there was stuff that wasn't good where Laros was like so excited to try it and he like spits it out. Like, it definitely did more with its premise than I think I was expecting, and I was pleasantly surprised.
My biggest complaint is that the title of the show is Dungeon Meshi, which pretty much means dungeon food.
Yeah.
And then they took it in English and they made it an obnoxious, grammatically incorrect phrase, which I hate.
No, I totally get it. But here's the thing,
damn it,
that I
people.
just noticed when I was like watching the show this week, because I had the same exact thought, like, delicious in dungeon. That's a freaking stupid name. But do you know what you could abbreviate that to? D&D. What?
Which is, I still don't like how they ended some of the episodes with dungeon food, delicious in dungeon. That was a little cheesy.
D&D, baby.
They do that in the dub?
They do it in the dub in some episodes.
They do it all the fucking time.
I
a bunch of
switched
times.
between the two, and it was a little cartoony.
Mostly the narrator does it, but
Yeah.
But mostly the narrator is just there at the very end to be like, delicious in dungeon. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, even when he was doing it in the sub, the dungeon Meshi, ha ha ha. I
it's
thought
happened.
that was a little silly in there too as well.
Yeah.
It's happened a bunch of times
Nobody
now.
else thought that was kind of brilliant. D&D.
I don't know. I like dungeon Meshi. And there's also a lot of like logical points that felt really weird. Like they meet Kabru's party, or not Kabru's party. The two older elves with Namari who are like going down with them, and they like run into the Undine, that water spirit, and they eventually take care of them. But right before they're like, okay, the Undine is here, so we're gonna turn back, and then they defeat the Undine, and they're like, we're still gonna turn back. It's like, well, no, you said you didn't need to turn back now because there's like it was just convenient, so they didn't travel together, and there was tons of continuity and logical errors throughout the show. Some of the comedic timing was weird. There was a lot of poor editing. A lot of times, like the scene would end and like the frame would be frozen for like a second or two longer than what you would think. Like there was a lot of missteps like that. The backgrounds, I think, were really not that great. The backgrounds were kind of uninteresting, which is funny because the character animation was excellent. The character animation was phenomenal, from the details of the way each character would react to news, to the different hairstyles and outfits that they had that felt natural and like progress. It was, the characters were spectacular, and the rest of the animation was so-so, but overall very well produced.
I just try to take the show not too seriously.
Yeah, that's
honestly,
the best way to do it. Just relax, let the little discrepancies just wash over you, and just enjoy the journey.
Yeah, it's just goofy. I mean, I enjoyed when the other party showed up. What the hell was his name again? Kabru.
Kabru or Shuro?
Yeah, because they're talking about because you kind of switch parties for a couple episodes, and he's talking about the other party you just came from, and it's like, oh, they're talking about the other party, and then you're just kind of waiting for them to. Yeah, just kind of.
Yeah, but then it was 5 minutes of, oh, I wonder if they have a dwarf, and we're like, yeah, we know. Oh, and they might have a mage. And this
but they don't know
Laos guy. I know, but like we as the viewer know that. That's part of like the pseudo recap that I was wondering, was there supposed to be a break, and then that they come back and they reintroduce our main cast through the eyes of another one.
There are a few properties.
They did that kind of. I did notice they do that, but I think they also kind of add in information that we didn't already know. Because I think Kabru did that when he was talking about like, oh, those are I forgot their last name.
Yeah,
the siblings.
The Thornton twins or something.
Yeah. But then he brings in some extra information about like where did they come from and how are they known in the adventuring world and all that. So whenever they felt like that they were kind of giving us a recap, it also felt like they were giving us a little bit more. And they did that with I feel like with the world building in the dungeon as well. Speaking of Kabru, I actually really liked him because when he was introduced, I'm like, okay, he's the bright-eyed adventurer that sucks, but he's going to try anyway. And no, he's actually one of the most manipulative guys in this show, and he's kind of utilizing that persona of his to just do whatever he can. And he's also very observant of the fact that Laos is that doe-eyed kind of adventurer, and how terrible it would be if the power of the dungeon fell into his hands, and is acting on those instincts. So I actually found him to be pretty interesting.
I like how fragile all the characters are in the show. Like, they might be resurrectable for the most part, but you got the main party who obviously got bounced a few times, right? You got Kabru's party who can't handle the areas that they're currently in. They run across a lot of characters that are struggling to get past the specific point of the dungeon that they're in currently. You know, and it's just like, that's how a dungeon should be. It shouldn't be like, oh, I'm just going to... Most of these shows, like Dot Hack or Solo Leveling or any of these, they just kind of, prance through the dungeon, blah, blah, blah. It's never really challenging. And then, like, Dungeon Meshi, it's just like, well, we got to the Red Dragon and it fucking destroyed us. And, here comes this, what was it, a water serpent or whatever that Kabru got fucked up. They were going to get fucked up. And, then you got these other people that just can't hack it. It's just interesting. And then in the very beginning, the party's like running away from a mushroom. You know, as you got all these characters, they're not really capable of being in this dungeon. Did we even talk about the fucking dungeon keeper?
Which one's
You mean
that? Or you
the mad magician
The
guy?
mad.
What is it, Thistle?
I can't remember what his name was, but he was pretty
Which was
interesting.
weird with like meeting him in the paintings beforehand. Like I felt like that narrative and like that town that was like ageless. They were fine. They were just world building, just not elements I really enjoyed. But you know, it's definitely setting up the conflict between Thistle, Laos, this mysterious winged lion thing. I don't know. I thought the Kensuke sword thing was pretty underutilized. Like that wasn't as much of a thing as I thought it would be. It was fine, but not incredible.
Okay. Well, I don't have much more to say. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I thought that the setting was great, characters were great. The tone was a lot of fun. You know, it didn't get bogged down too much. It kept things light for the most part, but it had moments of seriousness. They also, you know, are happy to use deprecating humor about people that have died. Like, we're going to look for this girl's body in the dragon's intestines and rummage through his poop and all this. Like, I made another poop comment. How you like that? And
well, that was relatable to the story.
There's always room for some more poop. And, you know, it's just a silly show that was pretty fun to watch. And I don't know. Didn't really have anything too negative.
I was a bit concerned that having resurrection being an element in this show that would kind of lower the stakes a lot. And I feel like it kind of did, because then I realized, like, oh, if something happens to them, they're probably just gonna find, like, oh, a conveniently placed person that can resurrect somebody is going to show up, which oftentimes it did. It wasn't too bad because, you know, the main point is whether or not they can get the person that they're looking for back in her full facilities, mentally, physically, etc. That's the thing that they're trying to get here. Although I did forget that resurrection was an element here, because when they introduced Kabru's group, it was like a very quick, like, here we are going to beat the dungeon, and then instantly dead. Like, I don't even think, did they even show them dying? I don't think.
No, I think we just see them like killed by those like treasure bugs thing. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, was that like a fake out? Like, you know, here are the characters you think you're gonna follow, and no, they were there for 5 seconds and they're just dead. And then I remembered later on that they can be resurrected.
Yeah.
But it was funny how it kept on happening to them. Like, they're just
and
dead.
they kept on getting like their stuff stolen by Laos's party. Though I didn't like Kabru's lines, because every time he felt like an audience stand-in. Like, oh, that group, so interesting. I'm so curious to watch what happens to them. I'm like, okay, like, I get it. I'm already interested too. You don't need to sell me on it. So
I think
we can score it if you guys are ready. You want to go first, Caroline, or Mitz?
I'll go first. Yeah, so overall it was a good show. Was it the most, like, you know, like, oh my god, I gotta watch the next episode? Not really, but I did watch several episodes in a sitting, and was enjoying it. So I think I'm gonna give this show a 4 armor bugs out of 5. I'm trying to think of something creative, but I couldn't think of something.
List the meal that was the most appetizing. Coins. And I guess the second question, are you going to watch season 2?
Yeah, sure.
There you go. Mitsugi, what do you got this as?
I like this anime. It was fresh. And I do kind of wish that they would eat some things that would, like, I don't know. It seemed like everything was edible for the most part, and it's just like, oh, you know, well, not everything will be edible, or...
Yeah, because since you put garlic in half the dishes, of course it's edible. You put garlic on anything, you can eat it.
I really enjoyed this. I don't know how long they'll be able to maintain it if they continue with the same pacing. You can only watch people eat, like, monster food for so many episodes before you're kind of like, whatever. So if this goes to, like, 50 episodes, they're going to have to pivot, But for this, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was fun. It was light. It was cute. And I would give it 4.5 hot pots out of 5.
Well, I will keep the show at a 4 average. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Indian, so it gets an average of 4.
Yeah. I mean, I was originally coming in, I didn't know if I was going to give it a 3 or a 3.5. But I think all things considered, looking back on it fondly was a pretty good time. Also, not sure how it will hold up with it transforming, though they've shown the ability with it to get darker or more serious. So, who knows? It could have a lot of legs and meals left under its belt. But I think 4 is a very good score for Dungeon Meshi, and I'm pretty good with that. So, yeah, Dungeon Meshi, watch it. Eat it.
Oh, I want to make an adjustment to my creative rating. Like, the rating stays the same, but it will actually be 4 Fallons turned into weird chicken things, but with no feathers in her underboob. Because
you got to have the underboob. That's the sexiest part.
Like, why would there be no feathers there?
Cluck, cluck.
I don't know. Get us out of here.
All right. Well, guys and gals, thank you so much for tuning in. Go watch some Dungeon Meshi. Honestly, it's a cut above most and very enjoyable for the majority of people, I do believe. So,
all right. It's getting me hungry, so let's close out.
All right. Well, we will see you guys next week. That's our show for today. Thank you so much for listening. As always, if you enjoyed the show, you can follow us wherever you hang out on social media. If you extra enjoyed us, you can go and support us on Patreon or at AAApodcast.com/join. Of course, we're on all the social medias, but we'd really like you to come join our Discord, AAAdiscord.com. Until next week, we will see you. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Dangers in My Heart, Season 2, next week.
That's next week.
Next week. See you there, nerds.
You're a nerd.